Hey everybody, it's me for the second time today. So I wasn't planning on putting my next video up until either later tonight or even later this weekend, but I feel it's necessary to do so. So, 2 days ago, it was announced that the JLA movie has been greenlit, that the writer has been put on job, and he's actually been writing on it for a while now in secret. And a lot of people have had a negative reaction to this. Do I think it's a good idea? No. But I think it's a bad idea for different reasons than 99% of the public think that's a bad idea. I think it's a bad idea because the the people that are going to see this movie, you have to look at the fact that not all of them are comic book fans. That yes, they know Batman, yes, they know Superman, uh, what have you. They know the characters. They know this, that, and the other thing. But it will confuse them to see somebody other than Christian Bale as Batman, somebody other than Henry Cavill as Superman, and this is going to be while Henry Cavill is still playing Superman. And because it's taking place after Dark Knight Rises, people will automatically assume that, or the general populace will assume that it has relation to Dark Knight Rises, and once they go see this Justice League of America movie, it's just going to be a whole bunch of confusion. And the other part that'll bring up confusion for a lot of people, or not a lot, I hope not a lot, um, is why everybody else thinks that a Justice League of America movie is a bad idea. Okay? And that is the fact that everybody now thinks that the way that Avengers did it, DC has to do it too. They have to introduce a singular continuity universe by establishing all these characters and then combining them to one movie. And I've actually written something here. I actually wrote an email to a website about this, so I'd like to get that out of the way. It's a little lengthy, so I don't know how long it'll take, but it's my exact reasoning behind this. I'm not going to get into who has the best characters, what character's better than what, but that's only because if you're reading this, it means that you've either been following along with my videos, or you're a comic fan, you've seen the title. So that means that you're automatically biased towards one side or the other. And that's not what this is about. This is about the facts, actually. So let me start. The reasoning that the reasoning that I don't believe in this reasoning that DC should have this shared universe within their characters is twofold. If DC starts doing it, all these people that are saying DC should do it will automatically switch to a different mode and say, "Oh look, DC is doing what Marvel did, trying to milk in on a cash cow." Okay. The second reason, they don't need to. All right. They just don't. It's done to make what Marvel did was trying to establish characters, and I'm getting into why this doesn't have to happen. You know, Marvel did it the way they did it is simple. You have Thor, Loki, Nick Fury, Black Widow, Iron Man. You know, the general public don't. They know who they are. They do, but they don't know who they are. Like, they don't know their story. And even before Iron Man came out, Even people in Hollywood assumed 2 hours of Iron Man couldn't catch on. It couldn't work. Nobody would go see it. They thought it would be boring. But then once it did work, they assumed the same thing about Thor, even though what Thor ended up being, you know, uh, this mystical fantasy film. That's what previously would have worked in Hollywood. So it really is sad to see that that's the way that Hollywood works. It works in cycles. One thing works, and then all of a sudden you have clones trying to use the exact same formula. And I actually blame that on a lot of Thor's downfall um, in the box office, because I really did enjoy Thor. I think that Kenneth Branagh made a terrific film. I think he's a great filmmaker, a decent director. And that once again, that's my opinion. But people do know these characters. They know what they look like. They know that they're heroes or villains. But I mean, outside of a couple of them, Captain America or maybe the Hulk, nobody knows much about the story or the supporting cast. And that's because those two, Captain America and the Hulk, have been shoved down our throats for years and years now. I mean, and you guys know about it. I know about them. That's why I'm saying that this video really isn't for you. It's mainly for Hollywood. It's mainly for the public, and this is my opinion. I mean, it's not like they're the X-Men who we've had video game after video game, cartoon after cartoon. Um, it's not like that, and there's more on that later. And that this is just the opposite with DC Comics, where DC has been shoved down our throats with comics, movies, television shows, even before Avengers was a thing. People know Batman's basics without the movies, and his villains. People know Wonder Woman, people know Aquaman. You may not like them, but you know who they are. You know what they do. You know their basic premise. The Flash. The only two that might be a little less known is maybe Green Arrow, who in a Justice League movie, in this Justice League movie, much like in George Miller's script after the failure that was Ryan Reynolds' film where he played Hal Jordan, you can bet your bottom dollar that they're gonna use Jon Stewart as the character, and the other one being Hawkman. Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Captain America, Thor, Avengers. The only thing that matters in that list is Avengers. It's the end game. The rest were marketing and making sure that people know who those characters were. Sure, some of them had their own cartoons, a couple of them had live action shows, but the rest of them are failed video games and movie adaptations. I mean, look at Captain America. Today, when you think of Captain America, what do you think of? You think of the guy in Avengers. You think of Chris Evans. But before then, you'd think of that cheesy movie from back in the early '90s. I forget the year. Every but that's what Marvel was up until very recent history. Marvel didn't have that list of movies. They had X Men on television. That was a great show. They had a couple of decent animated shows for Spider-Man, but these people aren't the Avengers. Okay. DC has a rich history of success with their characters cross media, from Wonder Woman to Adam West. Richard Donner's Superman the movie holds up so much to this day that it's hard to adapt the character now for screen. Between Frank Miller, Tim Burton, and Christopher Nolan's Batman, the character has been revolutionary in all forms of media, comics, television, video games, film, radio shows. Even The Flash has enjoyed time on the small screen. And as we speak, Green Arrow is coming to television, and this is after 10 years of watching Clark Kent on Smallville. And you can try to compare the supporting cast of the members of the Avengers supporting cast to Justice League supporting cast. You can try to compare Obadiah Stane to Lex Luthor, Loki to Ares, Abomination to Doomsday, Black Widow to Catwoman. Hell, you can even try comparing Betty Ross, The Warriors 3, Jane Foster, Peggy Carter, Happy Hogan, or Pepper Potts to Jimmy Olsen, Alfred Pennyworth, Lois Lane, Commissioner Gordon, Iris West, Carol Ferris, Vicky Vale, Harvey Dent, Perry White, and the list just keeps going on and on and on and on. At every shot. DC does not need to establish a cross-continuity universe. It already has because the cross-continuity universe is making sure that these characters are going to work on screen. They're going to work together. They're going to be marketable. These characters, Batman, Superman, Flash, Wonder Woman, Green Arrow, Hawkman, Aquaman, these people, even Martian Manhunter, these characters have been marketable since Burt Ward was Robin. We have had, sure, DC has had some failures, or things that were less than stellar. You might remember the Super Friends. You might remember, maybe you didn't like the old Batman show. Maybe you didn't like Wonder Woman. Maybe you didn't like The Flash. But the fact of the matter is, these things are generally remembered fondly. And since the announcement of the Justice League movie, Warner Brothers has went on to announce further that they just recently received the rights to produce merchandise based on the old 60s Batman show. So that's coming out. We've had classic lines dating back forever. I mean, I remember having an Hourman action figure, and it came with I'm pretty sure it came with a little tiny hourglass. But that's my opinion. These characters that Marvel has, they are great. I'm not trying to diss Marvel, but even Hollywood admitted that Iron Man probably wouldn't work. And I followed Iron Man for the times when it was, Tom Cruise was attached to it. Even Justin Timberlake was attached to it at one point in time. I mean, like I said, it's just me, but that's what Marvel was doing. That's the reason why they didn't go ahead with the Avengers in the first place. They needed to know that these characters worked on film, and as it turned out, they did. The movies made box office dollars, and that is a lot more box office dollars than, and I'll admit, that DC has enjoyed. I mean, look at Superman Returns, Watchmen, Green Lantern. These aren't big successful stories, but still, these characters from DC have been established for decades. People don't need to know who their villains. None of them are. Anyway, this is going to be the end. I do promise I'll be coming back with the story of what got me into comics. So please, 10% remain. Please stay tuned for that. And as always, have a nice day, and thank you for watching.